Hey guys, so making this quick Q&A video to answer some of the questions that were recently asked on my channel on a few different videos. So like I said, this year I'm gonna continue to make videos and answer all the questions that you guys may have. So if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. And I'll also be sharing a lot of information in the coming weeks around employment and visas. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. And let's get into the Q&A. So I'm just going to read the questions off my phone here and try and answer some of those. So there's one question asked, which is, I'm a student of, or I have a background of MSc Organic Chemistry, and I wish to do data analytics course in Ireland. What are the chances of my visa being rejected because of this change in the subject? So first of all, if you're changing your kind of subject or field, going from one field to another, I have known in the past where people have had their visas rejected if it's a complete change and you don't show any relevant interest for that change. So what I mean by that is, if you were changing from organic chemistry, let's say that was your field, and you want to go into data analytics. Now, have you done any courses as a certification, maybe some self-learning projects within data analytics, just to even know about the field and kind of showcase an interest? That sometimes helps you. Now, I cannot say that that would guarantee you a visa, but there are some things like that that can help you show that you are interested in going in that field. Some people even try to somehow figure out an internship or do some sort of experience just to have that edge and then change the field. So, the short answer is there is a possibility that, your visa might get rejected, but it's not a guarantee. It's up to the officer. If the person feels that you genuinely have an interest into going into data analytics, then you might get it through. But if it's a complete change without any relevance, sometimes it is questioned and it might get rejected. So it really depends on your application and who the person is reviewing that. But my recommendation would be try and do some course or do some self-learning and try to attach all that in your application, and that might just help you. I hope that answers the question. Looking at the next one, there is about someone who says, I got my work permit in critical skills category, but I lost my job this month. Hey, I'm really sorry, you're in this situation. There's a lot happening in the market and a lot of people are losing their jobs. I could be in the list anytime soon, I don't know. But don't worry, things will be fine. I have to apply for redundancy, but if I get a job off after being redundant, can I apply for work permit even if it's not under critical skills category? So you were on critical skills, you've been laid off, and now if you're saying if you get a job which is not necessarily part of critical skills, can you still apply? The answer is yes. As long as, let's say you get a job which somehow, some way is relevant to your skill set and background, and the employer is happy to sponsor your visa. It could be in a general work permit category, right? And what comes under that, the occupation, you can look up in some of my previous videos or go to the list of the Department of Justice, and you'll find the kind of occupations that come under general work permit or other types of visas. As long as you satisfy that and the employer is happy to sponsor, you should be fine to apply, right? So that's the short answer. Also, you're asking if you apply again, do you have to pay 1,000 euros and get a new IRP card? The answer is yes. For sure, you have to pay the money because it's a new application with a new company, so everything changes. So you will be paying that money, or maybe the employer will if they sponsor it completely. And as far as the new IRP card goes, you may or may not get that as a new one. So for example, if you got a job in a critical skills category and you're applying for a critical skills visa, which is a stamp 1, let's say, and if your current stamp 1, while you're made redundant, is still valid for another, I don't know, maybe a year or 9 months or 10 months. So you may be in a position where you'll get your work permit through your employer, but your IRP card can still be used because it's still valid. And now it's backed by a new employment work permit, if that makes sense. If let's say your stamp one IRP card was expiring in 2 months, so you definitely have to go and apply and get a new one. So for sure you'll be paying that 1,000 and maybe possibly 300 euros for the IRP card as well, right? Hope that answers the question. The last one I see, there's a question around my employer is applying for my employment permit critical skills, and you're curious like when can you apply for a visa to come to Ireland. When your employer issues you or processes your critical skills work permit, you would need that document in order to apply for your travel visa. So you can't come here on a tourist visa. I mean, ideally you don't want to because you're coming here for work. So you would want to apply for a visa which is for work, and that would be based off the critical skills work permit document that your employer will share with you once the visa is completed, the process, right? So you'll have to wait until you get that document. So that's the first thing. And can I travel with my wife as well? So I think once you get your critical skills and you apply for a visa, then your wife has to apply on the basis of your critical skills work permit visa. So she will be on a spousal visa. I've made a video on how to do the application for a spousal visa, so you can check that out. I'll put a link in the description as well. But she will need to apply as a dependent visa based off your critical skills work permit. So I think she'll have to go through a process, and that could take time. So it will be maybe a scenario where you travel first and then she might have to come and join you, right? If you've got any further questions or need some clarification on this, leave a comment in the comment section, and I'll get back to you in the next Q&A. Hope that answers the question. So these were the few questions that came in the last week. So I'll keep an eye out for any other questions and try and answer those in the next Q&A. Until then, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Do subscribe to my channel for some important updates. There's a lot happening with employments and the job market in Ireland, and education as well. So I'll be putting out a lot of relevant information. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.